Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of Formula 1 2018 Career Mode. There was supposed to be a NASCAR Heat video out today, but unfortunately I couldn't do that due to a power outage, so I decided to put Formula 1 at least in place of that, so we could at least still get a video out. And we're going, like I said, to Azerbaijan. Here we are in qualifying. We made it to the third session with no problem. This is actually at the end of Q3, as it was raining at the beginning of the session, so we stayed out as long as we could, so we could get the driest track possible here in qualifying. And certainly I made some mistakes on this lap. As you see in turn 1 I made a mistake, in turn 2 I made a mistake. Now as we come up to the castle session, could have gotten through here a little bit better. Now as we come through the left-hander, not as good as I wanted to get through there, and we would come through down the front straightaway, just trying to get as much speed as we could coming to the line. It would not be a very good lap as we would come through to start in the 6th position for Azerbaijan. So a very poor qualifying effort, but I'm very confident that we can push forwards here in the race. So let's go see if we can make that happen here in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. As you see, your top 10 for the grid as we get ready to start the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's 3.7 miles around a lap of Baku City Circuit then, with 7 rights and 13 lefts, giving us a total of 20 corners. The cars today will be reaching top speeds of around 215 miles per hour, maybe even a little bit more, with a slipstream and DRS assistance. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about the Rainmaster. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, the Rainmaster, Sainz, Perez, Hülkenberg, and Roman Grosjean, Magnussen, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, and Gasly, Ericsson, Stroll, Esteban Ocon. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Sergei Sirotkin, Hartley and Stoffel van Dorn completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, let's be patient going into turn 1. We want to be in a good position for the rest of the race. Good luck.
Alright, there you hear from Jeff. We're ready to go green for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from the 6th starting position now. Hamilton and Bottas up front as there's 5 red lights, and away we go. And we are green in Azerbaijan. A lot of wheel spin for myself on the initial start now, as the Force India is going to try and force it up the middle, 3 wide as we come through turns 1. And as we head down towards turns 2, Hamilton leads over his teammate Bottas. Our teammate Sebastian Vettel in the 3rd position as the 2 Red Bulls battle just in front of me between Ricciardo and Verstappen. Now as we come down the straightaway, putting the fuel up to rich. Obviously we have a lot of spare fuel in the car right now on this start, so we're using as much as we can early on to make this car lighter, and hopefully that will help the handling here later in the run. And as we came through the castle section now here on lap 1, coming through, closing in on the back of the 2 Red Bull drivers as they continued to run gearbox to gearbox now as we head down into the 3rd sector. We should be able to line up Verstappen pretty well on the front straightaway, and that's what I was trying to set him up for as we came towards the end of lap 1. Now heading down the front straightaway, coming through the little S's now as we put it in to overtake on the ERS, closing in on Verstappen. A chance to get past him to take over the 5th position here on the first hub, and we're going to pull left and make the move on Max Verstappen, and we close in quickly on Daniel Ricciardo, the Australian, as we're going to look to his left as well as we head down towards turns 1. Ricciardo drives into my right-hand side as we make contact going a little bit wide there into turns 1, and Ricciardo, he has to back out of it, and he loses a spot to his teammate of Max Verstappen. But we would be able to keep them both behind us as we came to lap 4, getting ready to already make our first pit stop of the day, only running a couple laps on these tires here as we come in now to make pit stop number 1 of 2 here in Azerbaijan, putting the ERS down to the low there as we have a Mercedes coming out of his pit box now as we make the pit stop though and come out with a good solid pit stop for the team. A 2.6 second stop with the super softs now on the car, and we will have to come to pit road again to take another set of super softs now as we exit pit road, coming back into traffic. Actually, no traffic really around us as we sit now. P19 Carlos Sainz down there in 20th at the moment, as I believe he just came off of pit road himself. And as we came now to lap 6, closing in on these cars in front of us that have yet to make a pit stop, although our teammate Vettel is pitted. Both Mercedes cars, I believe, have come into pit road at this point. But we certainly lost some time on that first run here in Azerbaijan, so some time to make up, and I felt like being on the super soft tire, this would help my pace. I usually struggle quite a bit on the opening run in this game with the worn tires after qualifying, and as we came through the front straightaway at the end of lap 6 now, moving our way back through traffic, passing Stoffel Van Dorn there in the McLaren as we head down the straightaway, trying to close in as quickly as possible to the cars up ahead. Obviously, the front runners like Hamilton, Bottas, and Vettel, they're going to be struggling a little bit, just like we are, to get through these slower cars as we would close in towards the back of Sergei Sorokin, and we would make a move to his left-hand side as we were actually approaching the castle section of this course now, moving into the 12th position here on lap 7. Up through the castle section we go, right on the back gearbox of Brendan Hartley as we would try to look to his left-hand side, but we would not be able to make a move, and then we came to the front straightaway. Now a chance to look to the left-hand side of Hartley, and we would make the move and get past him and past the Sauber and the Williams for the positions now, and we would move ourselves inside of the top 10 as we went down into turns 1 as we came out of the corner, setting our sights now on Fernando Alonso at this point, as he was up ahead just by about maybe a second or maybe a second and a half or so, and we would close in and pass him, and we would get past all of the cars except the 2 Haas cars who had actually been staying out. They're playing a one-stop strategy, both Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen right now on the one-stop strategy as we come through here in the next few corners, closing in once again on the castle section. And it certainly felt like we had more speed in this car in the second run now, as you see on lap 11, still in that 6th position, over 5 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas at this point though, so certainly a good chunk of time that I have to make up, and by the time we came to lap 15 we had gotten past the 2 Haas cars that had come to pit road, and now we come in to make our second pit stop of the day. Lewis Hamilton, he had just recently come in, as we come in now getting to pit speed as we head into our pit box to make the stop. Valtteri Bottas just exiting his box now as we actually held him up a bit as we came in, and that's going to give us a chance to actually close the gap in on him just a little bit now, as we are just at 11 laps to go at this point. And as we now exit pit lane to rejoin the track, Kevin Magnussen, he would be able to get past me and get the position from me now as we head down towards turns 2 as we lose a spot there. So certainly not the best situation for us, but hopefully we can run down Magnussen quickly and get back past him. His teammate Roman Grosjean is also quite a bit ahead right now, as they both are trying to make the one-stop strategy work out in their favor, as we would quickly close in on the back of Magnussen in the Haas car now as we sit in the 6th position. Magnussen on the soft tire, so certainly not going to be much of a challenge to be able to pass him as we came to the front straightaway on the end of lap 16. We would be able to make that pass on Magnussen and get away from him now as we went down towards turns 1 and turns 2. So Magnussen down to the 6th position as we move up to P5, trying to run down Bottas once again. Just under 3 seconds behind Bottas, so we have a chance maybe to get him. And as we came down the straightaway, the back straightaway, Magnussen would actually blow up here on the next lap as we went down. He would retire, obviously, from the race, our first DNF of the event, as we would continue on. No virtual safety car, no safety car, so we keep green here in Azerbaijan with now just 10 laps to go at this point. 3.3 seconds behind Bottas, so I lost some time. Bottas was actually on the soft tire, a questionable call, which can definitely play into my favor, and by the time we came to lap 20, closing in on Bottas now, as you see him just up ahead. We had gotten past Roman Grosjean for the 4th position as we try to run down Valtteri Bottas now to take over that 3rd and final spot on the podium here with just 7 laps to go. And we would be able to slowly, just continuously reel in the Mercedes driver, as he was obviously on a harder, slower compound tire, but towards the end of the run, you know that his tires would probably be better than mine, and therefore he'd be able to maybe excel more than I would be able to. So certainly not the best situation coming down towards the final few laps of this event. And as we came to lap 22, we had certainly started to struggle to close the gap to Bottas. It was down to 1.8 seconds, but I was really struggling to be able to get it lower than that. Now as we came to lap 23, still the same situation, closing in now on the final few laps of this race. Just 3 to go. Our teammate, actually, Sebastian Vettel, leads the race just over Lewis Hamilton, as we did close the gap now to 1.5 seconds to Bottas, but 3 laps definitely isn't going to be enough time now, as we came to just 2 laps to go, still 1.5 seconds behind Bottas. So I knew at this point that we probably were not going to be able to get to a podium position unless something went wrong with Bottas. And as we came to the white flag now, Vettel was still in command, as we had cut the gap to Bottas to 1.3 seconds, just 2 more tenths into that gap, and it's certainly not looking like it's going to be enough unless we just get a really good lap here, and hopefully we can try to find a way to close in on Bottas. But it looks like he's pretty much got it sealed now for that 3rd and final podium position, as Vettel, our teammate, tries to hold on for the victory over Lewis Hamilton now, as we come through, closing in on the final few corners of the first sector, just trying to get through here as best as I can to see if I can have anything for Valtteri Bottas here in the final couple of sectors now, as we head down into the left-hander, down to 1.4 seconds. So we gain about a tenth or so, setting our fastest first sector, I believe, of the day possibly here now, as we come down straight away, heading into the right-hander. Doing everything I can to close in on Bottas, but it looks like he will hold on to that final podium position, as our teammate Vettel in command now, as he heads down towards the final sector here in Azerbaijan, as he has set a great race. We've had a decent race, and we just didn't have the speed quite enough to get to the 3rd and final podium position now, as Sebastian Vettel comes through the last legitimate corner now, as he heads down towards the S's, as we actually just about go into the wall there out of the left-hander, pushing it as hard as I can now as we head down into the left-hander. 1.8 seconds between myself and Bottas. He has got it sealed up now, as Sebastian Vettel is going to come down the front straightaway. He is going to be able to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. As you see, Hamilton doesn't have anything for him, as he's over a second behind. As Vettel crosses the line, he will come through to win in Azerbaijan, and we will come through, it looks like, to get the 4th position, as Bottas is too far up ahead, as he takes 3rd, and we're going to come through to come up just short of a podium spot, as Valtteri Bottas actually set the fastest lap of the race there right at the end. So certainly could have been better for us, but we just really struggled on that opening run and really the beginning of both other 2 runs. So it's unfortunate that we didn't get a podium, but hopefully we can do that in the next episode to keep up with this championship battle.
Just what set them apart from the competition here?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
A solid effort for us in Azerbaijan. Unfortunately, just the first guy short of getting a podium finish. As you see, Vettel there in P1 as we go through the finishing order. Charles Leclerc down there in P14. Lance Stroll, fellow Canadian, up in 15th. Magnussen, he's obviously the only DNF, so he's down in the last position. As we now look at the point standings, there you see Vettel lead the standings over Lewis Hamilton, who's in second. Reese at P3, 22 behind, and we also lead the constructors standings here with Ferrari. So that will do it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very, very appreciated. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And the next one, we go to the Spanish Grand Prix, so we'll see if we can pull off a victory there, maybe for win number 2. But I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a great day.